the studio. My Thursday guest is a political economist, is also a public affairs analyst, Olamileko Adefolaro. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the program every Thursday. Yes, I want us to, one of the leading stories I want us to be throwing light on is on the Guardian story. Guardian says last PIA implementation leaves NNPCL, NUPROC, NMDPRA in disarray. Of course, an issue that I've always asked. I think I asked you once on this program that what is happening to our PIA? Is it that the PIA it was overrated or not? And this is also coming on the backdrop of these days leading story, which has Afrexim Bank taps oil traders to finance $3 billion cash for crude loan to NNPCL. And of course, another papers had it captured it in a succinct manner that is actually romancing oil companies to buy off his crude that I got from NNPC. So what do you have to say about this? To my own view, I feel that PIA was overhyped.
It definitely, the event at that point, overshadowed the real issues in the content of the law. If you remember, there was a time there was a particular, the main original content of that law was brought out by then under Goodluck Jonathan. Then all of a sudden, the nomenclature was changed to governance, the governance structure of oil industry in Nigeria. Then later they went back and said that particular document was fake. Then they now went back and we worked on it. After we working on it, they now said, okay, this is the real document that we're going to use. But the challenge there is that most people who were championing that document, either on the side of CSO, either on the side of the host community, either on the side of the government, many people concentrated on the percentage going to the community or host community of oil state. And that overshadowed the content itself. How some of these agencies that were going to administer the oil and gas sector of the country will be doing their work. There won't be any challenge. But as we speak right now, there's an overlapping between NUPRA and NMDPRA, including NNPC himself. So that is what is bringing this array around it, because many people see that NNPC is not a company. So what is the role of NNPC? Still championing, still being the leading agencies of the government, overseeing the crude oil and gas in the country. So what is the work of NUPR? What is the work of NMDPR? What are their work as we speak right now? Because all is like an overlapping work that the three agencies or the three institutions are just engaging themselves. And that's why it's bringing a disarray that we are now being. So
what can be done about it? Because at the end of the day, we are not seeing PIA actually living up to expectations of most Nigerians, because it's why I'm talking about transparency. When you talk about transparency in the oil sector, this is not to be. And of course, PIA was tweeted to create transparency in the oil industry, and this has not come to play. What is actually going to happen? And that is also reminds me, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually nominated some management staff recently of NNPC. Would that one be able to throw more light into the oil industry?
The issue is that the same old people that are still managing the oil and gas are the same people that just transform themselves and bring their stooges into position of authority in the organization. There's nothing new about it, about the people that have been appointed. But my own concern has been that.
And apart from that, also with federal government, because there's so much overhauling to actually be done in that PIA, because you still see that the president is still taking upper hand. But the president himself alone is no longer the owner of NNPC. We have state governors as board of directors, but those ones are not doing anything. They're not saying anything.
They won't do anything because the person that is still the head of the NNPC himself is still champion everything by himself. Because by now we're supposed to have representatives of each state on the board of NNPC. But what we have is just the NNPC, GMD, and the management team. Now, who are the owners? The six states supposed to be included, but they are not there. They are not well represented, and that's why we're having this challenge. But the key point still remains that how can we transmit this document into something practical? As you rightly pointed out in your question, that people can feel the impact of this document. The issue is that the people who are going to administer this document are not ready for it, and they have put a lot of plug in a will of the progress of that document be implemented. So what they have done so far is to use the 3% for host community to clamor and to cover everybody's face as if that is the main thing. But the main issue is how can we administer these agencies and the oil and gas sector in a way that transparency and accountability can be given to the people. And that is where we are having an issue. So for me, I still believe that overhauling still remains the main thing to be done. First and foremost on NNPC, on NUPRM and NMDPRA. So if we can overhaul the system in a way that we can bring people that we know that truly they are meant to do the work, not people that are going to be servicing the people who put them there initially.
But now you just pointed out that their functions of the functions of NNPCL, NUPRC, NMDPR, they are overlapped. They have overlapping functions. That's right where this PIA comes into focus. So what can be done about these three agencies?
The first thing is that the law needs to be reviewed. We need to demarcate the three of them. NNPC, although many people are looking at the reprivatization of NNPC, but what the document is saying is commercialization, to make it a company that can make profit and make money for the government. Although part of the shares will be sold out to the public. The way NLG is working, that is the vision for NNPC. The way Saudi Arabian oil company is working, the way Russian oil company, that's what they've envisioned for NNPC. But what we have is that the political will to unbundle the NNPC completely and make it a transparent organization is where we have an issue, because the entire Nigerian state, from the presidency to the list in the Nigerian elite system, they still believe NNPC still remain a cash cow of the country. So we don't have any other sources than to focus on this one. And that's why that transparency issue is not, it cannot be easily bring on board in NNPC. Then NUPRC and NMDPRA, their own problem is that overlapping work. We don't know who is giving license. We know the NMDPRA is for downstream sector, where the NUPRA is for upstream sector. That means at the shore or where they are digging crude oil. This is the work of NUPRA. The NMDPRA is to look at the logistic aspect of transmitting refined products into the outlets and others to be sold to Nigeria. That's what NMDPRA. But what we now see that NMDPRA is one now to partake in some of the offshore policies and programs of NUPRA. That's why I think it should be around June, July, there was a little bit confusion within statement from the two organizations pertaining to fuel subsidy or fuel subsidy removal. Or not until NNPC themselves now came out and said this particular responsibility is for NUPRC and NMDPRA keep away. So these are the things that are still unfolding that we need now to look at the law and see, okay, in this particular law that we established this, can we now separate their function clearly so that Nigerians can know what they are into? But literally, NMDPRA is for outlet, the downstream sector, whereby when we refine the product, they will now be in charge of now making it available at the market level. But the other one is to give license to people to now look at, we want to dig crude oil on the ground, you are the one to do this, you are the one to do the allocation of the gas stuff that they did last month, whereby they gave about 49 companies license. It was NUPRC that did it. So we already understood that, but other aspect of it, that it is the law, we need to just unbundle it so that we can make it easily understood for people to grasp.
Now, thank you so much. Now, how do we get to review the PIA?
It's very simple. It's just for NNPC and the agencies.
Oh, I thought some commentators said it's the federal government that was sponsored it.
Yeah, they are the agencies of government, so they are the one that will initiate the move. Although CSO can also rules around and begin to call for advocacy around it. And so we need to review this law. We need to review this law. But one thing I have not gotten from the law, I don't know how many years it is being set in the law for it to be reviewed. If it is about 2-3 years, definitely it's not up to yet because it was just passed in 2021. So now we still have some years. But if it is for the emergency and urgency of the issues on ground now, I think it should go to National Assembly. And National Assembly members, a private member bill can sponsor and call for the review of it, not on the federal government call. A private member, maybe somebody from the south from the oil region company, oil region state that discovered that this is also causing the little problem, he can call for the review of it, and they will call for public hearing, and everybody will submit their memorandum on how to do the review of the law. But NNPC should lead, NUPRC to do, and NMDO should also be part of it, which is the agency of federal government, as earlier said.
Thank you so much. Because as you just rightly said, many Nigerians' attention was just on that host community money, which took the whole. Nobody even bothered what the whole.
Although another issue that also took people away was the gas flaring issue. Yes. Because many people are looking at how can we tap the gas flaring and make it a little bit economical and something that Nigerians can benefit. And after about some years, now we now have companies that have been giving allotted license to go and take it up. So those are the issues that really blindfolded people on the law.
And people also said, but on that glass flaring issue, why it continued unabated was the fact that the fee, the sanction fee was quite small to all these companies. So they would rather just allow it to happen, just take your money then. than just do something about it.
Exactly.
Anyway, be that as it may, we also move over to this day on. Like I saw the story yesterday that Afrexim Bank, the bank that credited NNPC $3 billion cash for crude loan, is already romancing other oil companies to come and buy off his crude.
Exactly, because they will want to make the money, because that money doesn't belong to Afrexim, it belongs to the shareholder, the people that owns Afrexim Bank. Now, what is happening is that Nigerian crude is very fine, very good. The Bonny Light that we have in Nigeria is one of the best crude oil. So it will be very easy to get people to buy it off. But the rate they will buy it off, that's where it's going to happen now. Are they going to buy it at 94, 97 that the crude oil is being sold now? Or they're going to buy it cheaper than it? Because that is where Afrexim Bank need to think towards. And again, NNPC will be the person that will still help them sell it. Because they can't come and take the crude from it. It's when they sell the crude on behalf of Afrexim Bank, they return the money back to them. But maybe they may have another arrangement. I'm just thinking that could be the easiest way, because Afrexim Bank doesn't have ship, doesn't have engineer that will come and tap the crude oil from here. It will still be NNPC that will help them to sell it. Meanwhile, they can. It's a form of advertising.
But that's something that also generated controversy. Many people are aware of the opinion that. So, what was the paradigm? What was the measurement, scale of measurement for this $3 billion?
Because how many barrels of crude are you giving for this $3 billion? I said it in my article, which it went viral. That how can we quantify $3 billion US to the crude that we are giving now? Because right now crude is selling for 94, 97. Especially our own Bonny Light is selling at $97 per barrel. And maybe before the end of this week, it may rise to 100, because that is the target of OPEC. Now, I can bet you that Afrexim Bank will make a lot of gain from this particular venture.
And you know, that is what the opaqueness of NNPC, because even when CS was raised alarm over what was the measurement index for this thing, NNPC continues to keep more.
They didn't even say anything today. Even with many organizations releasing press releases calling on NNPC to disclose. Even Afrexim Bank also have to disclose. Dr. Oruma, the MD of it, is a Nigerian. It should be transparent enough, because prosperity will judge him. If by the end of the day, if this kind of thing becomes something that becomes a catastrophe to the nation, his name will be mentioned. Because how can you come with such a bogus, with such a patry amount? Because for me, $3 billion is very patry. Then you come and collect a whole load ship of crude, maybe 1, 2, 3, and by the time you sell it, you know how much you're going to get. Although we know the bank is for profit. But at the same time, talking of, yes, it's for profit. That's what and that's why they went into the deal. That's why they went into the deal, because they find it so something very attractive, something they can quickly make a very good gain from. And that's why, and NNPC, I don't even know who is thinking for the GMD and the rest of them, because they're looking. And
you see, why we said we are calling for a review of PIA, because at the time that a situation whereby you have maybe state governors as a board of directors, there will be oppositions.
Exactly to this kind of deal that you are going to.
Because if you are going to make NNPC commercialize NNPC, it should be done the way companies are supposed to be run. Seriously. It's not from one person that is the managing director. This time, in this instance, the federal government calling all the shots.
Imagine all the management staff of NNPC, the top were removed. Only him is remaining. What happened? What is he doing there? Although when you begin to raise, issues around his being staying there, they begin to say, because the funny thing is that his name, I don't know how true it is, so that on the CAC of NNPC, his name is there.
Yes, because he's the one importing the to import for it. I think they did it
that way. But no, I'm talking of the GMD himself. His name on the, I don't know how true it is, whether his name is on the what they call it, the CAC or a certificate of NNPC. Just like the other man, they went and removed his name. His name also was in the CAC of NNPC. That's why they asked him to give him 100 billion naira as compensation for removing it. That means that this man from Imo State, from
Ararume,
maybe the government is a little bit not want to take a hasty decision about it. I know it won't be far from now. President Tinubu will take a decisive action on NNPC.
All right, thank you so much. Now, still on oil issue, the second leading story on the headline story on The Guardian says diesel may trade near 1,500 naira per liter as oil prices spike. It's still a wonder that we are still buying fuel at a normal rate.
Because the government have done its own magic.
It's still so, but government is living in denial that it's not.
It's magic. It's government magic, according to Fela. The magic is this. The magic is this. The landing cost is around 600 to 800.
But guess what? There's actually government magic. I will agree with you. We've been buying fuel for 617 naira, but I bought 613 naira on Friday. Tuesday. I don't know
Definitely.
what happened.
It's because
It
of
reduced.
the competition between the outlets now. The petrol stations are doing competition.
And then NPC, I bought 613.
613. So that is government owned. Other ones are 614, 615. And you can still get it at 630 in some filling station outside Abuja.
Okay.
You get it. So it is competition within the supply chain of the fuel. But what we are saying now about the diesel going to 1,509 is because of the cost of crude. Crude is now 94, 97. And I said earlier, before the end of this week, may rise to $100 per barrel, and it may even go higher because OPEC have done one of the most strategic marketing features that they want, that they have cut off production. The highest any member of OPEC can produce now is 1.6 million barrels per day. It is only Saudi Arabia that is trying to challenge them that no, we want to make money, we want to flood the market with about 2 million, and OPEC is saying,
and
don't
yet
do
Nigeria is still not able to meet its quota.
Because things like this, like the one we have done with Afrexim Bank and others we have done with all the multinational and oil theft, add them together is what is retarding us. That what we're supposed to become a gain for us now, it's not a loss. If you call the NNPC GMD now, you will not fail to mention we are under recovery. And what does under recovery mean? We don't have money to do the exploration. All these multinationals come and did the exploration. So what we have is that when they sell, they give us our own part. And that's why at the end of the day, we are not able to contribute enough.
And yet NNPC employs engineers in his company.
If you want to take them out, Labour will say they are going on strike. TUC will tell you they are going on strike. NUPENG will tell you they don't supposed to strike them because they have family. Meanwhile, they are not working. So these are the things that serve as plug in the wheel of government taking some drastic action. Don't be surprised that if they say tomorrow Melekare should go, some people who are supporting him will say no, he should not go, that he should remain there. But we know that government need to do some things to save the situation.
Now, I want to take you back on your trend of thought before. We were talking about subsidy. Why many people are positing that subsidy remover, subsidy is back. How true is this?
It's back in a sense that, one, there is this calculation around where crude sales at the international market. Now, when they sell crude and company who refine product buy $94, $95 per barrel, and they have the stock they have been taken off, they don't have any stock again, and they have new stock. The Nigerian company will go and buy fuel from them. And we bought the old one maybe like 50 naira or 600 naira per liter initially. Then with the landing cost maybe 650. Now it is now 800. Now the company that is buying it from the overseas company is paying more to buy. Now what happened? Should they reflect the price on the local consumption? They can't do it. You know why? Because there has been what government have discovered, that if they allow the marketers to go with this, because they have been shouting. They have been shouting that we're supposed to increase the price of fuel, we're supposed to increase it, but the government is saying don't do it. And what is government doing on their own? Tactically, the fees that have been put at the ports, government is trying to do a magic around it so that that fee will not be reflective on what is taken. And that's why I say that when they say there's nothing like a subsidy coming back, because they have done their own magic. If they have left it open, that say, okay, take it and let all the charges being charged by the port, by all these government agencies at the port are collecting, these marketers will not have any other option than to reflect on the price. But as we speak right now, as long as the crude oil price is high, definitely we're supposed to be spending more for it. But government have done its own, whereby they have retooled that price, loading price, and the market. And that's why some of them are even smiling the other day. Now, you know what the marketers are doing? When they discover that government have been able to shut them out of the fuel issue, they are now going to gas. Now they are saying gas will be expensive because
yes, there's report that domestic gas is
for 18,000 naira
in December. It's December.
Now that there's a report about diesel now, they will definitely by 2 weeks time they will go to this and say no, we cannot import diesel again because there is no forex for this.
Very interesting. Now, another news too that is also making the rounds is the Ondo lawmakers Sean Court order move to impeach deputy governor. As you recall, as you know, the Ondo state government, just like Edo state government, they have been running battles with their deputy.
Exactly.
And of course, Edo state governor Godwin Obaseki came out to say that the only way, if truly Shaibu, his deputy, is repentant and he wants his forgiveness, is if he recants his desire to contest for the Guba election. That way he knows that yes, is really serious about them shitting their sorts. We also have in Ondo State the governor who just returned from medical leave is having a running battle with his deputy, and of course the House of Assembly moved to impeach the governor, the deputy governor, who incidentally went to court to secure court injunction.
Exactly.
But the House of Assembly is still insisting that even despite the court order, they are going to impeach him. What are we having here? And like I asked my guest last week, don't you think that the reconstitution should be reviewed to give a more robust role to the deputy governors?
We expect
because
that.
The deputy governors are the whim and caprices of the governor.
Exactly. We expect that to happen. But there's another thinking around giving powers to deputy governors who could also absorb the power of the governor. That's why the people who wrote that motion leave it like that. Let it be at the wish or and discretion of the governor to decide on the duties of the deputy governor in the state. Because if they are giving them upper power, then so after the governor, the deputy governor will be in charge of this, in charge of that. It could also be a challenge. So for me, I think whoever wants to be a deputy governor should just know that at this point in time, it's just to follow what the master says and obey.
But how come that during the first term, we always have a beautiful, robust relationship between the deputy and his vice, but in second tenure is always a ball game, a different ball game altogether. Like what comes to mind is also that of Obasanjo and Atiku. Then they had a smooth run off in the first term of their administration, but in the second time it was a different ball game. And of course we also have that thing played out in the Edo State. Shuaibu was actually the one championing, fighting the cause for Obaseki then.
And again, even this
second term, everything just went
south. And again, even in this issue, also the former deputy governor was also having issue before he was removed, and this other guy
came on.
And one thing we can quickly put within the thin line of the issue is that those deputy governors, once it is second term, their master is going, they always hide that position. And the master already have somebody in mind to put there. So it becomes issue.
It's only Umahi that was able to play fast one on his governor. Then Eleche
then the former
was able
governor
to get the list and all those stuff because Eleche was coming for his son Lily.
To become the governor.
But Eleche was able to play fast one.
Exactly.
How come governors don't want that deputy to succeed them?
And because they know that at the end of the day, these guys may come after them, because when they were a governor and the deputies were there, they were not given much opportunity to do anything. Even in Nasarawa State, it almost happened that the current deputy governor who served in the first term was also having an issue at the first time, but they reconciled and the guy remained and he's still there. I don't know, maybe tomorrow they may raise up issue against him and remove him, but I don't know yet. But on this particular issue that we are having through our political lexicon in terms of deputy governor and governorship issue, is that it is always about who is going to succeed the governor at the end of it. And most deputy governors are also interested in that position. So how can they be able to manage themselves out of the conundrum of I want to also become a governor and I will not have problem with my superior? Have you forgotten in Oyo State? It's also happening in Oyo State. Also before the election. So we always see this kind of scenario happening. But for me, I would just advise whoever wants to be a governor, deputy governor, just abide by the rules given to you, because in the constitution doesn't give you much power.
Yes, it doesn't.
It's only the vice president that has even have power to become the chairman of economic council. At the state level, the governor is still remaining economic council. They don't give you any council to manage. You only manage you want it. That's why they call them spare part tire. So they don't have anything to manage. And it's at the discretion of the governor that you work and do what you need to do. And most people call them errand boy. Anywhere the governor send you, that's where you go. But you end up collecting your salary and allowances or whatever. So they should just be patient and wait for their time. And for Obaseki, we know Shuaibu, you will not take back his word not to contest for governors. Even if he tell Obaseki tomorrow that he's not going to contest, he will go back, because APC in his side are waiting for him to declare. Because right now APC is even silent, who's going to become their flag bearer in Edo State. So they are looking for somebody capable, that is strong. And Shuaibu could be, and Shuaibu has been very strong. But
Senator Shomole has already disowned him, that he will not accept him.
That's political talk. When they get to the real thing that they know, you must have understood Shuaibu politics. He has been in the House of Assembly for more than 8 years. And he's very popular within that area that both him and Oshomole. Who is Oshomole going to bring to contest with him in that regard?
All right. Thank you so much. Now, just before we go, we have the mother of all news. Labour faults federal government. Labour is warming up for mother of all strikes. And of course, as leadership captioned it, food prices soar amid rising inflation. Hardship continues as palliatives delay. President may return today.
The issue is this. Although I've been able
And
to,
White Point says Labour force federal government's meeting, insist on indefinite strike. It says Labour says that any fresh meeting will stop us. Is going to be murder of all strikes.
we strikes. It's strike. They didn't say demonstration. You get it. They didn't say protest. It's for people, civil servants, to stay back at home. Although where
and Daily Sun said Moose court injunction, that is federal government Moose court injunction to stop them.
definitely from the Minister of Labour.
I know the private organized sector, they are also against the strike.
Definitely.
Just like they said they should factor in the well-being of Nigerians to avert strike. So what is going to happen?
The issue is this. Many people don't understand that there is nothing that the government wants to do about palliative that will go around. It will never go
It will never go around.
Never. The people and the palliative they are talking about, it has already been given. The state governors have been sharing money, sharing food, sharing.
Okay,
whatever.
they actually shared money.
Yes.
2 billion naira.
They have collected the 2 billion. They have bought rice. They have shared rice. They are giving. Some states are even giving additional money to civil servants in their state. So what palliative do they want? Is it the palliative that Labour himself want to manage? Because the issue is this: because from what the NLC and TUC are saying, that the palliative is not enough. Now the government promised 3,000 buses, though we have not seen CNG buses. Wow, it's nothing. It's not something that could be picked on the shelf.
But I thought the Labour too should be insistent on how far has the refinery rehabilitation of the refinery gone, because that would succeed in bringing the hardship down.
Although the government have promised December. So the other time we discussed this, when they talk about definite strike for 2 days or 3 days, I said as Labour find time to go and visit the NNPC refinery that they say in Port Harcourt. I think after we said that, about a few days later, the minister went, the two ministers, Minister for Gas and Minister for Petroleum, they went there. Has Labour gone there to check? These are people who are members of the union that are working there or supervising. Go and check them what they are doing. Then on the issue of palliative can never go wrong. But the state governors have been doing their own.
Yeah, but many people are saying also of the opinion that yes, palliative is just an off-crop something. They should have a welfare system. Federal government should have a welfare system.
That's why they have a Minister of Humanitarian Disaster Ministry giving money to 2 million people, 3 million people. Now they say they want to resuscitate Empower. Those are the welfare system. And these are the things that Labour supposed to supervise. For me, nobody should even beg Labour not to go on strike. But the thing is that at the end of the day, all of us will still come back to the round table and things will be effectively done. So, but nobody should stop them from going on strike as they want to do.
All right. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program, Ade Folari. I look forward to having you same time next week on the session. Well, viewers, this is where we'll end today's program, Inside Nigeria, which New Leadership Television is being a wonderful discussion, robust one with our political scientist, public affairs analyst Olamilekun Adefolari. And my name is Winifred Ugbebo. Till we come your way again same time next week. Here's wishing you a beautiful weekend. See you then. Bye.